The third round of the Australian Open 2026 brought together two players who represent very different philosophies of modern tennis. Alexander Zverev arrived with the aura of a title contender, carrying physical presence, elite serving and years of experience deep in majors. Cameron Norrie stepped onto Rod Laver Arena with a different weapon set built on endurance, court coverage and relentless pressure from the baseline. From the opening games the contrast was clear. Zverev looked to shorten points, immediately using his height to generate steep angles on serve while directing early backhands cross-court to push Norrie wide. Norrie on the other hand focused on extending rallies, making Zverev hit extra balls and forcing him to generate his own pace. The Australian Open surface played a critical role here. Melbourne hard courts reward clean ball striking but also expose movement under heat and length. Zverev understood this and used his serve not just as a weapon but as a positioning tool, serving wide on the deuce side to open the court, then stepping inside to finish with controlled aggression. Norrie countered by returning deep through the middle, removing angles and immediately engaging Zverev in neutral exchanges. This was a smart choice because when Zverev is rushed he tends to overhit, especially off the forehand wing. Norrie targeted that zone consistently, forcing Zverev to reset points rather than dominate. The first set followed a familiar script. Zverev held comfortably while Norrie worked harder through service games, yet the key detail was not the holds but the rally patterns. Zverev repeatedly chose backhand to backhand exchanges where his flatter trajectory penetrated through the court. This limited Norrie's ability to create angles with his left-handed forehand. As the match progressed the physical demand increased. Norrie began mixing in higher net clearance shots, pushing Zverev deeper behind the baseline. This was an important shift because it slowed Zverev's timing and opened space for short-angled forehands. The rallies became longer and the crowd could sense momentum beginning to swing. The third set became the tactical heart of the match. Zverev faced longer games and increased pressure on his second serve. Instead of backing off he made a crucial adjustment, stepping closer on return games and taking balls earlier. This removed time from Norrie and prevented him from settling into rhythm. One of the most underrated elements of Zverev's performance was his backhand. Down the line he used it sparingly but effectively, always choosing the right moment to change direction and disrupt Norrie's lateral movement. This shot forced Norrie to defend instead of dictate and slowly shifted the balance back. Norrie continued to fight using his trademark consistency. He varied pace, dropped balls shorter and dragged Zverev forward, testing his touch at the net. The German responded with disciplined shot selection, choosing percentage volleys rather than flashy finishes. This maturity reflected his Grand Slam experience in crucial moments. Zverev's serve once again became the deciding factor under pressure. He raised first serve percentage and targeted the body, jamming Norrie and limiting return angles. This is often overlooked but body serves are essential against counterpunchers because they remove leverage. The final set showed Zverev at his most composed. He stopped chasing quick winners and instead constructed points, patiently waiting for the right opening. Norrie still chased every ball, still forced errors, but the energy required to maintain that level eventually took its toll. In my opinion, this match showed the most complete version of Alexander Zverev we have seen in Melbourne. Not the flashiest but the smartest. This was not a match won by power alone, it was won by understanding when to attack, when to defend and when to trust fundamentals. Cameron Norrie may have lost but his performance reinforced why he remains one of the toughest outs in Grand Slam tennis. As Zverev moves deeper into the Australian Open 2026, this match will matter because it tested his patience, endurance and adaptability. The tournament is never won in the rounds where everything feels easy, it is won in matches like this where adjustments define survival. For tennis fans, this was a reminder that elite matches are decided by inches, positioning and mental clarity, not just highlights, and that is what makes Grand Slam tennis in Melbourne so special. Stay with Lareum for more deep tactical tennis analysis throughout the Australian Open 2026.